The Spirit in the Body by Robert Crosbie. Letter 20. Do not all the senses resolve themselves into what may be called feeling, the residuum of all perceptions, the resolution into the one sense perception? If I do not feel any perception, there is none for me. Also there are grades of feeling, deep or superficial, more or less transient in effect. We often say I see when we really do not mean what we call sight, but comprehension, which to my way of thinking means a feeling in regard to the matter. We may rightly call this one sense seeing, if that implies the grasp of all the characteristics of the subject. It seems to me that the true body of man could be well considered as a set of trained mirrors. These as conscious lives have their own seeing and memory, but man's seeing and memory would not be theirs nor his feeling, either. The eyes of the highest see through the eyes of the lowest, but the lowest does not see what the highest does. In each case the seeing is related to the area of vision. The perceiver may be universally perceptive without relation, or may be particularly related by focalizatio, which would mean a shutting out of all perceptions but those upon which feeling was concentrated. In such latter case, the various mirrors thus cut off from contemplation would have their own seeing, which might or might not be stored and regained by the perceiver in accordance with the training given them by the individualized being. Who taste the he who stayeth on high, unaffected. But there is another spirit designated as the Supreme Spirit, Paramatma, which permeates and sustains the three worlds. The former could be taken as the perceiver, the latter as consciousness per selenium. Jivatma is the one life, from and in this arises being and divinity, i.e., full self-consciousness. Light, life, being, and divinity, growth and individualizatio within the one, ever tending toward greater universality. This seems to tell the story, but words do not always carry the meaning of the speaker or writer, yet sometimes a new meaning is given by the juxtaposition of ideas as expressed in words. The usual tendency is to consider differentiation in general and in particular, forgetting that that which sees differentiation is not any of the things seen, and to attribute to the sights the qualities which can be seen and known only by that which sees. Yes, the problems are to be faced now, in this life, because they present themselves. And we have the ways and means to overcome in our philosophy of life. Does not the command to stand aside mean to look on, to watch the play of forces? We cannot do that if we make ourselves the lighter. Be not thou the warrior, let him battle for thee, bespeaks renunciation of self-interest in the result of one's actions. Do you not think that much of our feeling of strawosity comes from wanting what we want and not wanting what we don't want? Like and dislike. To be neither elated by success nor downcast by failure is the even way. We know that and we keep trying for it. The very effort and desire to attain will bring it about through all the circumstances which are our teachers. I think that the way is to begin with the small things. Do not permit yourself to be annoyed by them. We demand services as our right in so many ways, and are annoyed when we do not get them as we think they should come. At least, that is the way I have found it. And adopting that attitude in the small, the same is maintained in the great, and much more easily. Also, to help us, perhaps, there is a multitude of small annoyances to each great trouble. If sensitivity goes no deeper than the personality, it will be constantly offending the basis of that false entity, and be a source of irritation to the person, as to others by reaction. With strong natures this is difficult to control, but a simple rule might be adopted which would help much if carried out: never speak nor write if the slightest trace of irritation remains. Wait, or, if speaking or writing is necessary, take some subject which permits of accord. It is remarkable how quickly one state may be stilled and quite another one induced by a recognition of the fact and a use of knowledge. Another help is to take everything that comes as a matter of course, as it really is law. No use expending energy on what might have been, nor throwing the onus of conditions on anyone else. When the condition is taken care of calmly and dispassionately, the causes that led up to it may be judicially considered and stored away for future use. In this way power grows, is stored. The other way fritters away energy and causes its dispersion in others. If we are looking for light, it is because we find darkness where at one time we thought there was light. This is also experience, and of the trill sort. One's personal experience is one facet through which experience may be gained. To be of real value it has to be related to and made a part of all experiences. It is, as you say, dependence on principles, and faith in those principles leads us out of the obscurity cast by the bundles of perceptions that are dignified by the name of mind. This means a stoppage of the ordinary basis of action, the lower mind in use, and a creation from the source within, in a true relation, a creation which proceeds from the basis of the eternal verities. By those who see the truth and look into the principles of things, the ultimate characteristic of these both is seen. Undeniably, it is startling to many to think that perhaps we had some of the masters working directly among us, with us, and for us, and that we judged them as though they were actuated by our small and selfish motives. This might not be true for us, but it is true for many who are now very much in the public eye as theosophical exponents, and who appear to be still oblivious of the fact that this lack of discrimination should lead to all sorts of mistakes and wrong steps is easily perceived, as also that many who came later were blinded by those who claimed to know. It must be clear to everyone who has done much theosophical reading and study of HPB and WQJ that the failure of the TS lay principally in that non-recognition, for it implies a lack of comprehension and power to apply the philosophy given. They may learn, but what of that? It would be well for us and for the world if all had held true to the teachers and teachings. We know that they have not. Belief in anyone or anything is not called for, but devotion to the lines laid down is, and this is sure to bring about right understanding and right relation. These words occur in HPB's message. Although theosophical ideas have entered into every development or form which awakening spirituality has assumed, yet Theosophy pure and simple has still a severe battle to fight for recognition. There are others among us who realize intuitionally that the recognition of pure Theosophy, the philosophy of the rational explanation of things and not the tenets, is of the most vital importance inasmuch as it alone can furnish the beacon light needed to guide humanity on its true path. This should never be forgotten. To us, here is clearly and unequivocally stated the duty of those who desire to carry on the work done by her, and there is no question at all as to who and what she spoke for. It is that we are by every means in our power endeavoring to do. We have devoted our lives to it, and there is no energy to spare for any other issue.